Hi, I'm Mark Couture. This is my Rise of Darth Talon mock here at Brick Rodeo. Glad to be back in person. So what we started with here was trying to design a Sith temple for Darth Talon. So Darth Talon is an expanded universe figure for Star Wars. But what really kind of piqued my interest with this was George Lucas said that if he had done the sequel trilogy, he wanted Darth Talon to be the antagonist. And so I started with making a Hall of the Sith here. So you've got some of the Sith that I posted basically on these statues. I had some custom guards made and printed by Big Kid Bricks. You see those guards there with the Sith tattoos on their capes. And then you got Darth Talon there in the middle. Got some decals on here. Figured that those were okay, seeing as Lego sets have decals. So, of course, some of the tattoo prints there that you see are just made by a local place that I go to in Belton. So these towers here, that was the challenge in transporting this, was to make sure the towers didn't fall because they did crumble some during transport. I had to rebuild this part when I got here, but did some work as far as adding the lighting afterwards. So when I was making this, the plan was to run the lights through, so I had to make sure that I left space as far as to run the lights. So this is just an LED strip light, and so ran that through the whole place, tucked it in somewhere. And once I made the Hall of the Sith, I wanted to come back here and then make a dual room. That was the next room that you see over here. So you can see the dual room in the center. It's a true trial by fire, so don't move too far back, you get burned, right? So I've got a little tower I made there. Interestingly enough, I was away on vacation, and I had the Lego chess set. I made that tower out of the Lego chess set, so not a complete set anymore, but it served its purpose for the throne. Made a couple of kind of Sith statues over there, ran the pillars up, and then I made 2 rooms. One on the far side over there is for the throne room, so those doors actually open up. And then as you come back to the other room over here, you've got an entrance to the Sith Alchemy room. So a lot of times when you look back at some of the previous Star Wars stories, they talk about Sith warblades instead of lightsabers, and so that's what you see Darth Talon with here. She's got a couple of her custom guards and some other custom weapons. There's some Sith holocrons you see here. And that ugly Palpatine figure that you see over there, as far as for my story for this, is that Darth Talon just force siphons off of him to draw force off of it. So that's the only role that Palpatine plays in my trilogy. So if we go back to the dual room over here, got a lightsaber crafting table there. Those are meant to be kyber crystals on the table. And then if we go, I guess, back over to the throne room there, we've got Darth Talon sitting on a custom throne. And then I wanted to make sure that the center lit up, so I ran the lights through there, and that worked out pretty well. So.
What type of lighting were you using throughout this?
So it was actually I want to say it was like a 6-foot strip light from I got off of Amazon. So I've used brick stuff in the past, which works great, but because of the length that I had to run into, I wanted to get a longer strip. So just runs off of the one cord right there. But I planned for everything to kind of just run through. So I had to not only build an inner wall, but a little bit of an outer wall so that the strip was kind of buried, right?
Right, it works very well. It really lights up really nicely.
Thank you. So as we come back over here, I wanted to make a Boba Fett Starship. Will be politically correct these days. Boba Fett Starship out of red and black, and then kind of a Sith flair to it, right? So I had a custom builder called Micro Me make this custom Mandalorian that you see to the side. We came up with a design together, and so that's actually a custom Mandalorian, and he turned out, I thought, pretty well. I got custom Grogu sitting by him over there wondering what he's doing, basically. And so we've got that ship. And then as we come forward past the temple, I want to basically make a battlefield so that this is encompass more than just like the dark side, right? So in the front, what we see over here are these it's supposed to be dark side force nexus. So this is supposed to be dark side energy kind of coming through on the ground in the snow, and want to have a good contrast with the snow, with the white and the black and the red, so it popped a little bit more. Got a couple of custom Sith troopers over here that I designed with a custom decaler. named Teos, and then I've got a custom guy that decals for me called Airport, and did a real good job on those custom figures there. Want to make sure in the front of the temple that had that triangle that lit up in the front too. So making that on the inverted side to cover that was a little bit tedious, and I kind of reverse it, but kind of different building techniques. It's actually held in place by Technic beams to make sure that top stays on over the top of that.
What types of pieces did you use to make that with the red there?
Yeah, so those are just the cheese slopes, and so if you keep angling the cheese slopes up, it's going to be as big as what it's going to be there. So it actually worked out pretty well for centering it as far as the length, and then you just cheese slope it again, and just invert it down on top of it. So
it works well.
Yeah, right. It with those Technic pins, it stays in place pretty good. So as we come forward again, I had actually built this Orbital Cannon separately a while ago. I just wanted to make it part of my mock. So this is a custom cannon that I did, just like the Rebels. That Rebel base is meant to repel anything, ship-wise. And so you can see the generators just like they had on Hoth. So I made those custom, and then I thought the cannons turned out pretty nice over here. So this one was actually built before I even had up with this concept, but I was like, when the battlefield, I was like, I got to put it in here. So I think I made it work. I've also done a gunship here in red and black, Sith colors, just because it's like timing for Episode 7. If you think of them around the times from Mandalorian, Luke is still around with Grogu. So as we come to the battlefield, you'll see Luke out over there against Darth Talon. So I've got an apprentice for Darth Talon over there, Darth Malavel. That's a custom by Big Kid Bricks. He's fighting Ahsoka out over there. Right. And so out on the battlefield here, you've got the custom Talon troopers. You've got some Galactic Shadow Marines from Clone Army Customs. We've got some 332nd Legion troopers here, 332nd Commandos. Then I've got Hound leading the Tiger Shark ARFs. And so, of course, the Rebels are outgunned because, you can clearly see that between an Orbital Cannon and the Walker and the Republic gunship, they're probably going to take a beating. So, you've got one small explosion over there from the AT-AT, but the battle just kind of started here. So, Rebels are making a push. How they're going to make it doesn't look so great, right? So, hope that my trilogy doesn't end after one film, right?
Do you have plans to expand on this in the future?
I think I would like to. I think I'd have to think about things a little bit more because, of course, you start to run out of white base plates to connect things, right? Because, you want to leave the battlefield out for view. And then, of course, what I want to do on the battlefield here is I want to tile it off. I didn't want to just leave it as studs for the majority of it just so that looked a little bit cleaner, right, with the snow. So if I would expand it a little bit more, I think that, we tile a little bit more off here and maybe have it run back. And maybe expand the battlefield. Maybe it's progressed a little bit, right? But I incorporated not only the white tiles on here, but then some of the trans-clear slopes, just to kind of make it kind of a snow, ice, and then of course some of the dark bluish gray bricks to kind of create a rock effect. And so one of the things that I enjoyed doing about the battlefield before I even laid all this out for the troopers was I made a Wampa Cave over here. And so if you look at the Wampa Cave, you've got a Wampa down there with some fish and some bones. There's even a skeleton from an old Republic trooper down in there, so he's been around for a while. But he's actually pulling down one of those troopers there, through the top of the cave. So that trooper is unfortunate; he's not going to make it. But
I love the look on his face.
Right, I had to especially look for that face right there. I was like, I need one of panic, and I'm not going to make it. So I think that caught it. So.
Well, it's a great layout. I love the battlefield and all of the buildings back here. So the lighting, everything about it works really well. Look forward to seeing more from you in the future. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.